the first study we're going to look at this term is the centre of the wheel. And if you remember back to the wheel diagram, Christ is at the centre. And I'm going to use this, which we call a CD, students, to demonstrate two things about the wheel. The first is this, that if there's not power coming through the hub and driving the wheel, then the wheel is just not going to turn. We need power to come through the axle into the hub for it to function properly. It's exactly the same in the Christian life. You might have a very fine looking wheel. You might look like a Christian. You might even know Christian words. You might even have some Christian CDs, you probably don't. But anyway, if you don't have Christ at the centre of this life, then it's not going to turn. You're not going to be able to live. You won't have the resources to live the Christian life. You need Christ at the centre. Second is that if you have Christ anywhere else except the centre, then you're going to have a really weirdly turning wheel. It's going to be wonky. It's going to jar uncomfortably. If you've ever been on a bike which has a wheel which is bent, then it kind of clunks along like this, and it's a really unpleasant experience. Again, it's the same in the Christian life. If we try and have Christ anywhere except the centre, if we have him at the periphery instead of the centre, then it's going to be a clunky and actually ultimately a miserable experience. And it's a life that we just cannot sustain before we want to give up sooner or later. We won't enjoy it, be miserable. So Christ has to be at the centre of the wheel. But why do we say Christ has to be the centre, and what does that practically mean for us? Well, Christ isn't just from God. The Bible talks about him being God himself, which means he is the creator, the sustainer, the one who holds creation together, who continues to allow it to work. And we talk about being the restorer of all creation. We talk about the world going wrong and him putting it right. And one of the things that he does when he puts the world right is that he takes himself from the periphery where we've put him and establishes himself back at the centre of creation. So being the source, it means that we depend on him in a unique way. It means that he is the ultimate purpose of our lives. We live for him. It means that he is the ultimate direction of our lives, the ultimate satisfaction of our lives. It means that when we look to what we do, when we look at having meaning to our lives, we look to him before all else. It means that we have a relationship with him. Our primary relationship in life has to be him. That has to be central. And if we're putting anything else in those places, then our wheel is not going to turn properly. So that's what it means for Christ to be at the centre of our lives. And that's what the wheel challenges us to do.